Hello, and welcome to this segment of Open House here at Community Media. I am your host, Raymond Gowker, and this is a show that we bring people in from the community into the studio to share the amazing things that are happening. And sometimes those amazing things that individuals like Lisa Weigard, the chair of the board for Sparrow Place, and Amber Ballou, who is the vice chair. Sometimes the amazing things that they're doing is a result of some of the terrible things that you have to put up with because it's part of society. It's a part of a community, even though you wish it wasn't. And hopefully, I know your passion is that this mission of yours could actually unfold and you wouldn't have to have a Sparrow Place for people who are trafficked.
That's right.
Okay. So, thanks a lot for coming in to share the passion you have for this topic. And we here at Community Media are very excited about forming a relationship with you all to try to help you in your mission. Can you share, Lisa, what Sparrow Place is?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Thanks for having us, first off. Sparrow Place is a Christ-based nonprofit based out of Southern York County. We are a group of passionate individuals that rally around the trafficked woman, the women specifically. We go into schools and we educate, so we see that as like cutting the pipeline on the front side. We're educating the young people on what to look for, and not only amongst predators towards themselves, but amongst their friends as well, and in their family members. And then we also take it to the community by having community-based events where we talk about trafficking. I think that's one of the ways to let light go into dark places is by talking about it. So you know that better than anyone in your broadcast. And then we also have several other initiatives that we're just beginning, and we'll talk about that later as well.
Okay. Lisa Weigard,
Yes, sir.
the chair of the board for Sparrow Place, and with her is Amber Ballou, the vice chair. Amber, how long have you been associated with Sparrow Place?
I volunteered there for a couple of years, and I've been on the board for coming upon 2 years now. And when I first started volunteering, we had residents in the house at the time, so I would drive them to appointments, do Bible study, and pastoral counseling with them. I have my degree in doing that, and have some experience with abuse and trauma myself. So it was really life-giving to me to be able to relate with these girls. And then we ended up without residents in the house, and the Lord was meeting us for a time of renewal in the programming and the things that we needed to do. So I've been really honored and blessed to serve on the board, learning from what it was volunteering in the beginning.
What drew you to this organization?
I think that lived experience, that the Lord is using what was meant to be evil and taking it to become something good, because we are able to see what survivors need after living through an experience like that and relate with them and realize that every story is so different. Every one of the residents' stories were so different. And so it is really necessary. We're not going to stop the problem of human trafficking. That's something that we're going to have to watch God do, right? But what we need to do is build a community around each person and let them know that they are heard and that their story is, it matters and it is unique, even if we can relate to each other or we can feel compassion because we haven't been through what you've been through. You're heard, it matters, you're validated. So that's something that I realized was necessary in volunteering and being part of this ministry.
So this is a ministry.
Absolutely.
Okay. You build a community. Is that the main purpose, is that what these people need, a community around them?
So the main purpose of Sparrow Place, the reason it started, was to provide shelter, to take things off of their plate, financially, offer them the most basic needs that before they didn't have a choice about or felt that they had to earn or repay somehow. That was why Sparrow Place got started. And I specifically got involved with Sparrow Place because it's the only local shelter that I know of in this region, and it's very needed in York County. So, and you walk in the house, and it's not a homeless shelter. It's a home. It feels very cozy. It's feminine. It is catered to adult women to make them feel as if it's a place where they can walk around barefoot and cook meals and decorate and do crafts and also have a contribution outside of the home to the community and be seen as a whole person again, not be looked at and judged as somebody that other people don't understand at all. So then the need for a community also became something that we learned about through the beginning of Sparrow Place, because a trafficker's network is very powerful. And so working against traffickers and bringing women into a place of security means we need to have a stronger network than they do.
So you have a trafficker. They usually have networks. So they're organized. And the motivation to traffic could be financial. For the most part, it could be financial. It could be that they need to feel as if they are in control of someone else.
Absolutely. Many times it's been done to them as well.
And this is how they adapted to the situation as, hey, this is normal.
Yeah.
If I can control you, it means you're weak because you can't control me, something like that. Is there another motivation that I did not talk about of a trafficker? Control, money.
I'd say power and greed.
Power and greed. Power and greed. So, when you look at movies and you see people being trafficked, you're looking at someone who's being taken without their will and being displaced somewhere where you probably will never hear from that person again. That's not all of what trafficking is. Can you explain to us what the definition of trafficking is and what it looks like in this area?
Yeah. Are you cool with me? So trafficking, the government definition, it includes force, fraud, or coercion. So you would manipulate me on the front side to do something for you that benefits you, but to the sacrifice and detriment of myself. And that includes, we're learning it's so vast. Not only is the network vast that we talked about earlier, but just their methods are vast. You can have parents that drive their children up to Philadelphia for a weekend of trafficking. There's websites that advertise, and men that show up wanting this activity with a young person. There's social media plays a huge part in interacting with the youth. They are wildly manipulative, and they're wildly patient, and they will get to know you for months and months and earn your trust and say, I will give you whatever you need. Your parents are not meeting all of your needs, so I will. They seek out the most vulnerable of people, and then after that, they're kind of hooked in. And so the movies will sensationalize this chained to the bed or chained to a room type of a thing, but these women are so manipulated in their mind that they think this is love, and this gentleman loves me, and I'm contributing to him and for our future, our proposed future. He might say, well, 6 months and then we'll get married. And so she's like, well, I'll just do this for 6 months and it'll be the end of it. And it is not. Mm-hmm. It is violent and dark and never seems to end.
So force, what are there other F's?
Fraud.
Fraud. So some of this is manipulation that does not take force to do.
That's right.
Some of this is fraud in the sense that, as you said, the person is somewhat making a deal with an individual based on the fact that, hey, I love you.
Yeah.
If you love me, you'll do this. And maybe not even say, if you love me, but put forth, if we do this,
Yes.
as if that person's given up too,
Yes.
you know, and
Yeah.
they're not. And that's fraud.
Yeah.
So you have force, you have fraud.
And coercion.
And coercion.
Oh, so it's not all F's.
Right. Coercion.
Coercion. What is that? Explain that.
So the difference between fraud and coercion is that with coercion, you don't really feel like you have another choice. Whereas with fraud, you are essentially lied to. And so coercion makes a person feel that in the moment you don't feel like you have a choice, but later on you realize that you did have a choice, and so now it's on you. So that's kind of the fraud is, if you love me, you'll do this, and then we can get married in 6 months. So the fraud is that they didn't end up getting married in 6 months, even though she did it. But then the coercion is the feeling of, well, he said, if I love him, so I had the choice to say, no, I don't love you, and walk away. But at the time, she is not feeling that she has that choice, or she's believing something that was fraudulent is going to happen. Mm-hmm. She was promised this. And that's another reason that a lot of people put that judgment on survivors, that, it was whether it was a relationship or something they walked into, it was usually a deal that they thought it was going to be that it didn't end up being. And that's where they're forced, fraud, or coerced into something that they're afraid to ask help for because they have been made to believe it was their fault in the first place.
So a relationship is formed. Mm-hmm. And this happens with men also. Mm-hmm. Men are taken advantage of just like women. So you have someone taking advantage of someone else for the benefit of that person, right, who they're, not for the benefit of the person that they're manipulating.
That's right.
Okay. So the relationship is formed. The person who's being manipulated feels as if they need this relationship because they're benefiting from it because this person loves me. Mm-hmm. Is it always because this person loves me, or is it because if I don't do this, I don't have a place to live.
Absolutely, that's part of it too. Many times the traffickers will get their victims addicted to drugs, and then they'll say, well, you've accrued a debt and you need to pay it off. Meanwhile, they still need drugs because now their system is requiring it, and so they have to go back and they have to go back. But the way to pay off the debt is to do this awful thing.
And the debt is never paid off.
Oh, no.
Okay. And this occurs within families, as you said, sometimes.
Yeah.
So now you have a different situation where does the person being manipulated ever feel as if this is the way it's supposed to be?
Yeah. Yeah. They teach and preach that this is what women do or this is what children do, and this is actually what everyone does, and you're no different than anyone else. Meanwhile, their parents likely had it done to them as well, so they likely don't know any different either. But yeah, it's a dark web.
And the way to change this is through education.
Education and prayer.
Yeah, I mean, Sparrow Place is Christ-centered. So the only way that I've ever experienced and witnessed true healing for anyone is through coming to know the true Christ, out of the biblical word that's outlasted all of these generations and their generational sins. So we don't do it without him as our source. But the survivors that we come to help are not required anything from us. So they do not have to profess any type of belief or confess or convert for us to care for them. We're just transparent that our compassion comes from Christ and the belief that every person has value and worth because you're made by God, period. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people, survivors, that have not believed that their worth comes from what they can do, what they can offer, what relationships they can keep. They always have to do something to earn. So we have to work very hard, as every nonprofit in the anti-trafficking realm is always working very hard to show that the shelter we provide, the community we provide, the resources are not going to come back on you as another debt to pay. We have to prove ourselves as different from those traffickers and from people that have first given and then asked for a repayment. So that's why we come from a place that says we are centered on Christ and we're doing this because he says you're worth it and because the Creator has given you value, not because we're expecting anything of the person, the people that we're serving. And some survivors that we've worked with actually have come out from cultic activity where it's not necessarily normalized, but they are told that they are chosen and they are set apart, twisting that biblical language to say, this is you giving up your body for Christ by letting us use it the way that people see fit. So again, everything that we are trying to do and our mission and our values and our vision for Sparrow Place rests back on the fact that we are provided for and sourced in Christ, and we are meeting every person wherever they are at, not requiring anything, confession, conversion of you to be able to see that you're worth us giving you a shelter, us giving you resources, us connecting you with a community, and you don't have to promise us anything in return.
Which is hard for them to believe.
Yes, it is very hard for them to believe. Average for women coming out of trafficking takes about 7 different times of them coming out, going back, coming out, going back.
So Amber, what you're offering, what your organization offers is unconditional love.
Try to, certainly.
Okay. And this is your purpose. This is your calling. This is your purpose. And what you get out of it, what your team gets out of it, is a sense of fulfillment, that you are working with and in conjunction with the Lord
Yeah.
and his purpose for you.
Yeah. Just being obedient every day, doing something new.
Abiding
Yeah, abiding. That's right.
in him. So your team, all volunteers?
We have 2 staff members. We're positioned to hire an executive director to kind of push forth our mission and vision and spread awareness. This helps getting the word out about Sparrow Place. And we have the balance is volunteers, and the board is volunteer as well.
And that's very important for any organization to move forward, is you get to the point where, of course, you rely on volunteers, but to have a paid staff that can afford to have a family and pay to live a decent life, but also be able to provide the opportunity to others that your organization provides. They must feel very lucky to be in that position, to do that for an occupation. When you look at what makes a great community, you're looking at relationships. Unfortunately, some people never had good relationships to begin with, and this is all they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they feel blessed because they can manipulate people. In their world, they're doing what they think is right, or came to terms with it's not right, but it don't matter, you know.
Yeah.
But Sparrow Place has been around for how long, trying to change this culture?
2018.
2018. Okay. So 26, 27. So 8 years. 8 years.
Yeah.
And how did it start?
It started with Jan. Be careful, one. Jan Wilson was our founder, and she was this amazing, God-fearing, passionate woman that worked in several of the Southern York County service ministries, and she started to see an abundance of trafficked women, and God just put it on her heart to open a house for them. She also realized, again, like I mentioned earlier, that this population can't really mix with other populations, and so they needed their own dedicated home. And
Okay. I shouldn't stop you, but I'm going since I already did.
that's okay.
So Lisa, of course, we talked before our conversation here, and I brought up to Lisa, well, you know, there's places for women or men who have been abused. There are places for people who have had trauma, people who are homeless, and this is what you're talking about right now. In the fact that, yeah, each of those situations, each of those communities have their own separate needs, and putting all of them together could end up that all those needs aren't met because there's barriers that can be formed. So I just wanted to give
Well
a
said.
background on that. So people know what you
that's good.
are talking about.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So the unfortunate thing is, because I interrupt,
That's okay.
you know, where was your heart going?
Jan Wilson was our original founder. We lost her sadly during COVID, but her vision continues with a core group of people, and we've persevered, and we just continue to just keep talking about it and keep having events. This is the first year actually that we've had a 5K, a bingo is at the end of this month. We're having a Blind Eyes Opened event, which is a documentary. We'll have a panel discussion afterwards, and then in September we'll have a dinner. So I feel like it's the first time we've actually had structured events to really just go out into the community and just talk about this awful, awful thing.
So 8 years, your organization has been growing. You've been so busy serving those in needs, that these events, this organizational structure that you had, could not occur. But now you're to the point where your organization can have people to do that while others are serving those in needs.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's
Thanks.
exciting.
Thanks.
That's exciting. Community media believes that in order to have a great community, you have to be a connected community. And that means relationships. Ultimately, it means relationships. And hopefully it's based on the passion of your heart, So if anyone who's watching us feels passionate about your mission, how can they reach out to you?
Sure. We have a website, sparrowplace.org. It has listings of resources for people that are in it and don't know where to go. We also have training information and all of the listings of our events. We also have an opportunity to sign up as a donor. We're always looking for monthly donors. Actually, this is a great time to talk about one of our newest initiatives. We're calling it Nest Kits. And so it's for trafficked women. While we're raising the funds to open officially again to having residents in the house, we wanted to find a way to actually touch point these women that are coming out of trafficking and suffering with trafficking. But perhaps they can't get in front of a therapist. Maybe their type of therapy isn't offered in their region. And so we wanted to put some therapy style workbooks in there, but also like ways to work through their emotions through crafts and stress relievers and journals and books and all kinds of really fun stress reliever type things. So we're looking for people to sponsor a box, and we'll have that up on our website shortly to just, we would fill it with all the things that a trafficked woman would find useful.
And how would a trafficked person find a box like this?
Yeah, so right now we're working with a hand-selected group of therapists that we're going to kind of deposit these in their hands and that they can give it to some of their women that they're working with. But in the future, we'd like to open up applications for trafficked women to sign up online directly.
Because if you're working with a therapist, that means that person who's being trafficked has made a step somehow to make their life better.
Yeah.
And there may be some who have not been able to make that step, and some feel as if this is normal.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
Yeah. Yeah.
So eventually, it'll be put on your heart how you could reach those individuals.
Absolutely, yeah. And along the way, we find new ones, create a box, and put it in their hands.
Right. Our first step, so if you're a counselor or you work in an office and you have come upon somebody who has been through a trafficking situation involving forced fraud or coercion, you can reach out to Sparrow Place, and we love to bring a box to your office. Like we said, there's going to be workbooks, things for art therapy, things for teaching crochet, drawing, needlepoint. We're going to make a box specific to each type of craft, scrapbooking, things like that they can take to wherever they are being housed at and have something to work on during their time of healing. So our first outreach is to those already in counseling and counseling centers. And that is to create some collaboration, because we hope to open our house, our shelter back up to residents soon and create collaborative relationships with counselors to send our residents to. So that's the first outreach. And then from there, we expect to get connected with other survivors who are maybe in transitional housing or even in the jail systems, because unfortunately they do get penalized for crimes a lot before their traffickers do. And then on to reach other like entertainment clubs and things like that from there.
This is another sign of a strong organization that you guys are and becoming. is the ability to collaborate with others, and it makes you stronger. You know, it makes you stronger. It gives you their talents to be put in within your system as it's growing. Is there any other organizations that you're looking to work with that?
Oh yeah, we are really good friends with Unstoppable You Ministries and Jen Foxworthy. She's doing amazing work. North Star Initiative out of Lidditz is another like sister organization that whenever we have issues or problems or concerns or questions, we reach out to them. I'm sure you have a plethora of sister organizations.
I mean, there's a lot of great people. I actually got the idea from Beauty After Bruises that works with people who have been through traumas and abuse. They have a therapy box project that they also do. So this is a much smaller scale idea from that. And if you have an organization that works with people who are traumatized from sexual abuse or trafficking, you know, reach out to us to collaborate and to work on ideas together, because we're all offering something different. You know, we have the shelter, we are doing these nest kits to bring some of our resources that are now in the house and not being used since we don't have residents, to actually put them to good use to places that are reaching survivors, so that we can still create connections while we're responsibly fundraising to staff that house well and make sure we have a 24/7 care for any of the residents that come in.
So you're not dealing with youth at all?
No, completely different licensing, sadly.
Okay, all right.
We are educating. We are educating youth in the schools, youth groups, any small groups at church, you know, even sports programs, anything like that that'll take us. We'll come and give free education that's age appropriate, elementary through high school, because this occurs very much in the high schools. They have, you know, people being planted or being recruited to do that whole boyfriend trafficking connection, to make that a thing. There's actually a movie called Still Hope that we just talked about on Angel Studios app that discusses how this can happen just from going out on a date and not vetting the person that you're meeting. So we do educate the youth, but our focus, again, is to center on women, adult women, for the house, to keep it a safe and neutral place so that we're not mixing with youth or with men while they're in their initial stages of healing. It's going to be like a bridge housing program to connect them to something more long-term.
And it could be some people that the therapists are working with.
Yes.
Okay. Adult, in your eyes, 18 and older? Okay, alrighty. Great, super. Is there anything that should be said that I did not speak on?
Well, you mentioned the bingo fundraiser that's coming up on May 30th.
No, I didn't, but we can.
Yeah, we're
She
having a
did.
bingo event.
Oh, okay.
New Freedom Community Center on Saturday, May 30th. You can get your tickets online at sparrowplace.org. Super fun event. We have cash prizes and raffle baskets. It's going to be a great event.
And the hopes is that becomes a yearly event.
That's right.
A yearly event. Okay, super. And your educational efforts right now is to teach people what trafficking is, what normal behavior is, what to look for that might be a sign of, hey, this isn't normal, and things like that.
And protocol, because a lot of people know some things to look for, but what are you going to do if you see something?
Yes. Yes. If you're not, if you don't have to, why should you? Right? Right? Yeah. Okay, super. Hey, Lisa Weigard and Amber Ballou from Sparrow Place. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for the passion in your heart to be for those people who somehow have been put in a culture of I want to say abuse, because it is.
It
They're
is
being
abuse.
abused.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it could be from the people that they love the most.
Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you very much. Amber, would you like to say anything before we leave?
I think one of the things that I mentioned in our last talk was that traffickers don't forget their victims, they just replace them. So one of the most important things that we can do is to collaborate and become that strong safety net that assures people that we are going to stand together stronger than the evil things in this world.
Lisa?
Period. Mic drop.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Best I
Yeah.
could do is a pencil right here, but
Yeah.
it's very good. Thanks for sharing your passion.
Well,
how about you?
Sometimes it just seems like an overwhelming task. Like it just seems so vast, so dark, so deep, so long. This has been happening for generations. That the easy answer would be just to stay distracted on our phones, or just to stay oblivious. But I can tell you that darkness never sleeps, and darkness is continuing to prey, P-R-E-Y, on our children. And if you do nothing, if you say nothing, if you learn nothing, it will continue. So I just want to encourage you to act up, speak out, and seek us out. And we can work together and make a change.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank
you,
you.
Amber. And if there's anything that we could do here at Community Media to help you get that word out, it should be something that people think about. You know, every now and again, especially, you know, when you're sitting back and you're thinking about what you're grateful for. You know, you could be grateful that you have a family who teaches you that you are precious, that you do have a purpose, and some things are right and some things are wrong, or you have friends that same way, and I think that's important for our youth, is to be able to find a mentor as they're growing up, or organizations like the Scouts, or sports or theater, to find out what their talents are and what their passions may be. And through that, they realize how to set goals, and they learn that they do have a purpose. And I'm glad that you guys are living yours.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming in and sharing with us that there is opportunity even when there are moments where people are not treating you like they should. So until we have a chance to bring other people in from the community, and we will, because there's people in the community doing great things, to share their mission and their passion. Thanks for watching this segment. If you want to help with Sparrow Place, they do have a website, and please get on, find out a little bit more about them. Stay healthy, be kind, and you are the best. Bye.